Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm against. I am 100% against, you know, child abuse, whether it be mentally, emotionally, sexually. It doesn't matter. I'm against child abuse in every single form. Um, I take all forms of child abuse very seriously. When I hear stories about men, when I hear stories from men about how they were, taken advantage of, I'm going to say, for YouTube's sake, men being taken advantage of when they were boys by older women. Um, I don't think that's a rite of passage. I don't think that that is okay. I think it's disgusting, and I think it's just as disgusting as when a man does that to a young girl or young boy. It doesn't matter. I think that children should always be protected, without a doubt. So when I hear stories like this, I don't like. I get so infuriated. Like I don't even know. I just shut down almost. But this right here is one of the wilder ones that I've heard in a minute.
She started sexually abusing you to the fullest extent?
Yes.
Regularly?
Every day,
Every
before
day.
and after school.
Did your father have any inclination
He
of
caught
this?
us one time.
He caught you?
Yeah, didn't report it. Yeah, he caught us one time when I was 14, and then it erupted. And then the next morning I wake up and they're gone. And he's obviously taken her to work or something. And then I get a phone call at about like 7:30. And I was 14-year-old, so I was in about the 8th or 9th grade. And he said, if I ever catch you doing that again, you watch what I fucking do to you.
So you were blamed?
I was blamed.
And she texted you?
Yeah, on the bus. I was 15.
And was it?
I'm pregnant. We sort of navigated how are we going to do this without like dad finding out. I skipped my childhood a little bit. I had to, not a little bit, I definitely had to grow up.
Yeah.
My daughter, she's just being born into this and she didn't deserve this. Now it's my responsibility to navigate that, because the only thing I ever want to be is the father to her that my father never was for me.
That right there, I mean, if that don't upset you, then I don't know what will. That was so hard to listen to. So listening to him tell that, a lot of emotions for me personally came up because I grew up in a house of abuse. And though I wasn't abused, it still happened in my home and it affected my family. And yeah, I mean, this scenario could have easily played out in my home, but it didn't because, various things. But, my mother, thank goodness, she protected us as the best as she could at that time from the person that was doing the harm, and and got them up out of the house. You know what I mean? But I would have been devastated if my mom would have sided with the abuser. I would have been devastated. And it didn't even happen to me, but like, I couldn't imagine what that would feel like to be an abused child and to have your parent, the person that is supposed to protect you from this, blame you for the incident, right? Yeah, that's tough. This is why a lot of people who don't like Kevin Samuels, is why a lot of us are upset at Kevin Samuels, because Kevin Samuels, with his big platform, right, with the millions of people that watch his videos, he told a woman to believe what he told a woman, why would you want to break up your home? Why would you believe your daughter over your husband, or whatever the case may be? That's what he told a woman before about, and the question was surrounding if, pretty much it was like he asked her, he was like, so you would like believe your daughter? Like, what would you do if your daughter came to you and said that this man was harassing her or abusing, whatever? What would you do? And she was like, oh, I would leave him, which is the right answer, and also call the police, but whatever. But she said she would leave the man, and Kevin Samuels' response was like, oh, you will break up a happy home to, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I don't want to make this end because I know there are women who definitely would choose a man over their children in this instance. So I don't want to say like this is a man or a woman thing or anything like that. It's just it's a parent thing because we don't see children as human beings. The same way that men don't see women as human beings and they don't respect or believe women when women say that they were sexually assaulted, parents don't believe kids or they don't care because kids are kids and they're not even human yet. So fuck them. And I need for people to understand how all of this stuff is connected. This is why I get so upset when I'm talking to people about this stuff, because I'm like, you guys fail to realize that this is going to directly harm our children, right? Your misogyny will directly harm our children. You not seeing a child as a human being directly. I mean, that's gonna, even if you're not the one abusing them, you're not gonna protect them because you don't see them as people. That's just what it is. His father was supposed to be his protector. He didn't protect him. That woman was supposed to protect him. She was a stepmother. She didn't protect him. So yeah, he was this man as a child. He was failed by everybody in his life, and he seems like a very nice man. Like he seems like a good guy in spite of all of this stuff. And he's talking about, loving his daughter. And I mean, he was 14 when that happened. So his daughter's a teenager now, right? Because he's in his 30s, it looks like. So his daughter might be 20. His daughter might be 20. He might be, if he got that woman pregnant when he was 14, 15, baby came when he was 15, 20 years later, she might be a 20-year-old woman right now, like that, and he's just like, yeah, I had to be strong for her. I had to get through it for her. And I have nothing but the utmost respect. I have nothing but the utmost respect for him. It sounds like he cut his father off, by the way. I mean, as an adult, he definitely recognizes that his father completely failed him and let him down. But, the woman did too, right? The stepmother definitely let you down too, sir. And I know he knows that, but yeah.
She started sexually abusing you to the fullest extent?
Yes.
Regularly?
Every day. Before and after school.
Did your father have any inclination
of
this?
He caught us one time.
He caught you?
Yeah, didn't report it. Yeah, he caught us one time when I was 14.
Some people also are so afraid of being alone that they will sacrifice anything to avoid that. Once again, I've experienced that in my own personal life as a child growing up, right? So yeah, some people are so desperate to not be alone. They're so codependent. They will turn a blind eye to things that are destroying their children.
And then it erupted. And then the next morning I wake up and they're gone. And he's obviously taken her to work or something. And then I get a phone call at about like 7:30. And I was 14-year-old, so I was in.
And what do you do? Like, and not to bring up the Menendez brothers, but I have to in this instance. Like, what do you do when the people that are supposed to protect you are the ones abusing you the most? I mean, like, not even close. And you believe that nobody will hear you and nobody will listen to you. Like, yeah, like, I'm not saying that, killing your parents is, what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you should do that or anything like that. Of course not. But like, it's just like, you just feel for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to feel for them. You have to understand how daunting, how you would just feel like so deserted and alone and just out of options, the same way I could understand if a battered woman felt like she needed to kill her husband or a boyfriend or whatever, like in the movie Enough with Jennifer Lopez, like I understand, like you just get to a place where you just feel like you don't have any other option. And the reason why that place exists is because people see that nobody's coming to help them. Nobody's coming to save them. Gypsy roles, you know what I mean? Like, you just get to a place where you're just like, nobody's coming to save me. And you get into fight or flight mode. You know what I mean? So the system needs to do better, because we need to make people understand that if they come forward, their claims will be taken seriously and be investigated extensively. We need to change the system in that way to protect the most vulnerable people in our system. It's just a reality. I mean, we got to protect them just on the strength, but we got to protect them so that they don't put themselves, like, so they don't compound the situation by doing something even more extreme and more drastic, because they don't feel like there's any other way out. Like if this dude, like, I'm so amazed to see how well adjusted he appears to be. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know how I would be right now if I were him, if I had gone through this.
About the 8th or 9th grade. And he said, if I ever catch you doing that again, you watch what I fucking do to you.
So you were blamed.
I was blamed.
And she texted you.
His father threatened his life. So if he killed his father, are we locking him up? Is he a monster? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I just look at, I'm human. I'm human, you know? And this shit is just sad. This shit is just very, very frustrating to listen to. And then you just see how it's the basis for all of this other shit that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, this abuse just catapults people into these terrible fucking lives. You know?
Yeah, on the bus. I was 15.
And was it?
I'm pregnant. We sort of navigated how are we going to do this without, like, dad finding out. I skipped my childhood a little bit. I had to, not a little bit, I definitely had to grow up.
Yeah.
My daughter, she's just being born into this, and she didn't deserve this. Now it's my responsibility to navigate that, because the only thing I ever want to be is the father to her that my father never was for me.
Did you hear him make any excuses? He didn't have a good example. He didn't have a good role model. No. That's the last part that I love about it. He learned from what he went through. He learned, he is a human, and he's like, I don't want to do to my daughter what my father did to me, or what my stepmother did to me. I refuse to do that to my daughter. So I'm going to be everything that they weren't. You have examples. You don't need a model. You don't need a good model. Bad role models could be your role model of what not to be. You get a good role model, that's how you should be. But either way, you can't be blaming everybody else for how you act as an adult, as a human. At some point in time, you got to take agency over yourself. Right? So I have nothing but respect for this man. This was heavy. I'm sorry. This is a little triggering for me. I'm not gonna lie.